Quiet on the set, I said. Haha. Welcome to Reinventing the Tattoo. This is the Tattoo Collecting Podcast number 25, and we want to thank Guy Aitchison for inviting tattooers, apprentices, collectors, the curious, anybody interested in art and tattoos to come together, to collaborate, to inspire each other, to learn a bit. And yeah, the Reinventing the Tattoo community is the spot for that. I don't know where you're watching from, but if you go to either of the app stores, Apple or Android, anyways, you go to either of those evil app stores, you download the mobile app, and you'll have an amazing, inspirational community at your fingertips. We'll only text or we'll only message you for fun live events like this if you want. Now, I'm going to be running you quickly through some of the other upcoming events while we're making sure this is working in live, and it looks like it is. So let me share my screen with you and talk a little bit about some of the sponsors that make this available to you for free. Okay, screen share. Boom, here we go. This is the homepage of the Reinventing the Tattoo community. And as you'll see here, the first link is one of the main pillars of the community, and this is live events. Every Thursday at noon, the Tattoo Collecting Podcast is right here, noon Eastern, and you will be hearing from Fawn and Jordan and amazing tattoo collectors every week. This is episode number 25. They are here like religiously. It's out of control. It's great. Let's see. This Thursday at 7 o'clock, we have a special Reinventing the Tattoo subscribers drawing group. So if you are a Reinventing the Tattoo Canon subscriber and are part of the Monday exercises, there's going to be a special final project drawing group happening Thursday at 7 p.m. and Guy will be there to help people out. We have drawing groups where artists are encouraged to zoom in and everyone draws. 1 o'clock in the afternoon with Jason Lesser and 9 o'clock in the morning with Jake Meeks from the Fireside Tattoo Network, which is an awesome YouTube channel in and of itself. You should definitely check it out. Let's see, every Monday at 9 o'clock, we have Reinventing the Tattoo Canon subscriber exercises. So this is a group exercise led by Guy Aitchison for people that purchase his Reinventing Canon. It's not only all of the information that used to be in the 3-ring binder and the books and the DVDs and all the digital stuff, all in new, awesome, online, techie format that is actually easy to use, but it also gets you access to these group exercises every Monday, which are pretty out of control. Let's see, we've got How to Build a Tattoo Machine by Tony Urbanic. We have Art Jams in Italian the first Wednesday of the month. All of these shows can be found in the library here. And we have all of the shows that you might dig. We've got the Reinventing the Tattoo podcast, which is generally interviews or panels led by Guy Aitchison. We have all of the previous tattoo collecting podcasts, perfect for throwing on in the background of your tattoo room. You know, when people are waiting and they hear the stuff in the background, or even when you're tattooing, then all of a sudden you'll find them wanting awesome sleeves and whatnot. Let's see, we've got all of the Reinventing drawing groups, the art jams. Let's talk tattoo with Mark from Needle Jig, which gets a little techie, but also awesome interviews in there too. The history of tattoo conventions from Alex Van Dutch. There's the drunk critiques. There's a 9-hour drunk critique in here for the holiday edition. It's a little out of control. It's written up in the New Tattoo Society. Thank you, Tony. He's a co-host with Bob Tyrell. It's a little out of control. Even Joe Capobianco beamed in at one point to break some china, and then Paul Booth came in to chill everyone out a little bit. It was, well, as you can imagine, a 9-hour drink critique epic. It was out of control. Live in the Castro with Haley Adams, with LGBTQ, people of color, all sorts of awesome stories from tattooers you probably have not heard of yet, but may have, but you will after you check them out. We have virtual tattoo gathering replays. If you're looking to get into art, there's semi-advanced ones, painting a skull with Sean Barber, which is out of control. Tattooing on dark skin body art panel. Straight up, Matt Hurtado does an oils 101, painting a donut with Ramos. It's fucking great. Anyways, all of this is available for free thanks to our sponsors. Not the subscription. The subscription's $300 a year for Guy's Canon, but all of this community stuff thanks to our sponsors, Inkjet Stencils. So if you are a tattooer, then you should definitely check out some of their videos. They have you get an eco-friendly Epson printer. You put the inkjet stencils in, the dye in, and then it prints out your stencils. There's a couple of webinars now on how to treat your images, and Andre here is printing out full-on back pieces. So if you are a tattooer and watching the show, you should definitely check it out. And oh, I just stopped screen sharing. Loose Screw Tattoo with Jesse Smith's tattoo shop is, I could get back there before too long. They are looking for new tattooers. And so if you are looking for a new spot at a busy shop, you should definitely check them out. Health, dental, all sorts of great benefits. Loose Screw Tattoo. There's a join our tattoo team, join our team link. If you're a tattoo collector, you should definitely be checking out their work. He's that's a great shop for collectors to go to too. In any event, those are our main sponsors for this show. You could find all of the sponsors there on the app, and we encourage you to say hi. Thank you very much for your patience with the live show. Sometimes we have technical difficulties, but we will always overcome them at this point. I am going to drop out into the background and want to thank Fawn and Jordan and Ben for awesome tattoo collecting podcasts. Okay, so now from here, I'm going to go to gallery, and now I disappear. Cheers.
Hello and welcome.
Welcome.
Hello.
We made it, guys.
Yes.
We got here.
Technical difficulties, but we're here.
Electronic demons.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It's all right.
Well, welcome back to the Tattoo Collecting Podcast, guys. We're here with Fawn Baker, Jordan Rookus, myself, and Ben Thomas. We're here to talk about his day after his tattoo. Fawn did a big thigh piece on him yesterday.
Just because it's big thigh doesn't mean it was a big thigh piece.
It's a pretty big piece. It's a pretty big piece.
Yeah, it was a pretty big piece.
So actually what we started, Ben's got a few open pieces left in his bodysuit, but only a few. But one of those pieces is the back of both legs, upper back thigh.
Above the knee, below the buttocks.
Yep. So we're doing like basically this crazy like intergalactic other dimensional nature piece. Yeah. Like it's going to be kind of trippy.
It's so awesome. I love it.
Combine like real with fantasy.
Yeah, it's almost like your world breaking apart. It's a daydream.
So yesterday the panel we started is from like above the knee all the way up to the hip.
Yeah.
On the outside of your right leg. Was it your right leg we did?
Yep.
Yep.
It was a lot of tattoo.
It was a lot of tattoo. We got a great start on it.
We did.
We'll screen share some pictures of it later on.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that.
But
I think it's such an awesome piece. I think it fits you perfectly. Like I see Ben when I look at it.
It's one of the few tattoos I've I don't want to say catered to me because a lot of the stuff I have is traditional. And a lot of the stuff I have was artist specific. I wanted something that was in their wheelhouse and stuff that they liked to tattoo as well. So Fawn and I are extremely like-minded. So when it comes to designing this, I kind of gave her a aloof preference of things that I would like to see. And she nailed it on the head from what I can see. It takes a little piece of my life and then blows it up. I'm an avid backpacker. I go outside a lot. So she put a little camp scene with a campfire in it and combines a lot of the natural elements with symbols and things like that, sacred geometry and a lot of stuff like that. So it's probably the most tailored to me and my personality tattoo I've ever put together. And I didn't put it together, if you know what I mean.
We're actually combining a few paintings, like personal paintings that I've done to kind of create this scene, and then we're incorporating some like three-dimensional sacred geometry as we go. Like instead of like the flat geometric patterns, we're working with like the 5 plutonic solids. So I'll have those represented throughout. So I'm excited. It's going to tell a pretty cool story.
Yeah, I'm pumped on it. It's one of my last few large areas that we can do a big piece on. So it's nice to get that area wrapped up. It's even better to do it with something cohesive. I'm really pumped to just one big giant freaking tattoo.
I don't mean to interrupt for the techie stuff, but you could imagine that if this was a rock show, the guy in the black clothing would be like running out and being like, the monitor behind Fawn is showing a really tiny picture of Gabe's face. We really should put something else up there.
Okay.
Otherwise, every time it goes there, it's like it takes that screen could look really pretty and have something awesome up there, but it's kind of just showing a lot of it, and it's a big part of it, and it's bright.
Okay, gotcha.
And if we do that now, then we'll save it for the next 2 hours.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. What were we talking about? Okay, so yesterday I didn't keep track of how many actual like hours needle and skin time we had, but we probably had like at least an hour and a half of marker drawing and then several hours.
Yeah,
of
we started
tattooing.
probably drawing at about 3,
Mhm.
2:33, and then I mean we were tattooing by 4:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I looked at the clock and I was like, we started just before dinner.
Yeah, you guys were
My
drawing
tummy
for a
timer
while.
went off
I
right
think I
after
started
we
my.
started.
I got in probably an hour after you did, and then started my tattoo probably. Yeah, you guys were still drawing for probably like an hour after I
Yeah.
started.
Well, I like to draw, like, even if it's too much for me to tattoo all in one day, I like to draw and commit the whole scene and photograph it. And then I can work back towards that next time. Like, usually once the daydream's there, it doesn't take that long to, like, daydream it back into
Fill it
place if
in.
I've got the photo reference from the first time.
Right.
But I feel like the biggest complaint, and this is my biggest complaint as a tattoo collector, is how uncomfortable the chairs are. Like, Ben, you've been tattooed by, like, you can tell that some of your tattoos were not put in the most gentle ways. So I know you've been tattooed, and you've been tattooed kind of brutally, and I mean that not as a dig, or not as a knock or anything like that.
That's
but like
how old school tattoos work.
when I'm tattooing you, and the biggest complaint is how uncomfortable you are. Not even like what I'm doing and brutalizing you.
Well,
Isn't that
2021 is a
frustrating?
pretty sweet place to where we've got the numbing glides, and we have sprays that make it so we're not getting tattooed. And it's to a point where with the right ingredients, your tattoo becomes fairly, I don't want to say painless, that's the wrong word, but in comparison to some other tattoos I've had, it's an extremely gentle process now. And it's like when you sit, all right, I'm fat. Let's just start with that. When you're putting 250 on one point of your body on a barber chair, for lack of a better term, the connection point there with your body to the chair gets to be where you're sore. Like I have a bruise on my other hip. Like it's pretty bad. I even brought a pillow.
Yeah, I mean, sitting in the same spot for that long is definitely.
I mean, and I don't know if that's just like a fat guy problem, but
No,
like,
I mean, I would put myself in a very normal sized person category, and I feel like it's uncomfortable for me. Like,
yeah.
there's no good way to lay to get tattooed. I mean, it's one of my current biggest frustrations with my whole workstation setup right now.
I'm going to
is
start
my
bringing
chair.
a motorcycle gel seat with me, just slapping it down
Boom.
underneath.
I'm half tempted, like, and we work off
nice
of
soft
really
pillow's so
good
nice,
quality
too.
chairs. You know, like
Right.
it's
When
just
when you're
flaw with
using
tattoo
the top
equipment, I think.
of the line industry gear, and then you're still kind of like, meh,
Yeah, I wish it was
this
better.
could be better.
Yeah. It makes me want to like just go back to working off of a massage table.
Yeah, most of the center stand chairs, the barber style chairs that have the base weight platform, are just super unsteady. Like I said, pushing the weight that I am. When you lean forward or backwards on those things, the stability just isn't there.
Mhm.
So when you've got your dental bib laid out and you're first sitting down, if you don't hit that sweet spot right in between those two
So what you're
lines, you clip a
saying
little high,
is
clip a little low.
It's both unstable and tippy, and then we have to cover it with a slippery thing.
Oh man, do you know what you
Okay.
just described? An OSHA nightmare.
And there are needles around and biohazards.
yay.
This sounds great.
Yeah, it's a good time. So it's I don't want to like keep on the soapbox, but yeah, like that's the worst. I wish I could just go into my living room and lay on my couch, but that's frowned upon because scratchers and
It's going to be one of my side projects soon. We're going to come up with some actual comfortable
Man,
tattoo
I can-
furniture. It's all pretty similar, but none of it's comfortable. None of
Yeah.
it's comfortable for longer than 2 hours. I mean,
I
there
mean,
are a
we
lot of
got-
tattooers that don't work
we got
longer
Jules.
than 2 hours.
We got Jules who can upholster our stuff, and then we get some memory foam or some purple mattress stuff.
I'm going to start Frankensteining some tattoo furniture together. If you want to be a guinea pig and try some Frankenstein tattoo furniture, give me a call.
oh, I'm in.
Let's
But-
do it.
So yesterday we worked. I beat you up. I got a super solid first layer on a really big body panel. How do you feel today?
I'm pretty good today. Luckily, we had some pretty decent bandages that I'm not too familiar with, but they worked amazing. Able to cover them with that completely, for having such a large panel and a Band-Aid that actually covers that in one piece, and you're not seaming together and taping together and blah 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 blah. Really helped. Just the over the night comfort. You don't feel like you're sticking to your sheets. And
I was actually really surprised with these when I opened them up. So this is the large size. There's a medium size also. These were shipped to us as samples to try, and I think I'm sold already. So I opened the large one.
it's like a combo.
Yeah, I need to try them. I need to try
See how
that.
big it is? Oh, but wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, shit.
And it's like plastic.
It's very
here,
cloth-like
and then here
against the
it's
skin.
really, it's really soft. Like it's actually like it feels nice.
In comparison to the chicken pads.
Did you play with them yet?
They're not
I
perforated
have not.
sandpaper.
Yeah, it's like actually
Watch the camera
soft.
for me.
Yeah, right.
Burn us down, but it's super soft. I wrapped Ben in it last night immediately after working on him. We were using some Nothing Glide. We had some samples come in, so I used one of those on him. So I smeared him with Nothing Glide and then wrapped him up with this, and then we wrapped it in saran wrap just to kind of keep it in place while he slept. But
Yeah,
what do you
amazing.
think?
Came off real easy in the morning. Wasn't stuck to me. Wasn't. I didn't leave any residue behind. I didn't have to clean anything off from the bandage. That's the worst. And you've got Band-Aid left that you have to now scrub out of your fresh open abrasion.
Oh, by the way, I remembered last time we were talking about Sanoderms and we couldn't remember what we called them. I went back and rewatched a previous episode. We called them adherent dermal wraps.
Adherent dermal wraps. Yeah.
Yeah, ADWs.
So that's better than calling it Sanoderm.
Pull out your ADW. So
It's much better than pulling
I
off
had
your
a
ADW.
severe reaction to the last time I used an ADW.
I was just going to ask for your opinion in comparison between the two.
I've used several different brands and have had several different results. Quality definitely varies. But this last particular time I used it, I was only covering a tattoo that was about 4 inches by 2.5 inches square. And so it was a small piece of bandage, and I trimmed it. I did the whole thing you're supposed to do around the edges and blah blah blah, and it left me with
like an adhesive burn,
almost like a chemical burn around the edges of where this bandage was. And the tattoo's fully healed and fine at this point, but what is left is a ring around the tattoo that's a burn mark. Like, so now I'm healing a burn. Like it's awkward. So being able to have a different option with something that's soft and non completely adhered to you.
Oh, it's got to be a huge difference.
And I mean, my problem with the Sanoderms and stuff like that, adhesives, whatever we're calling them, is that they pull that liquid. And I know that it's not really hurting anything, but it looks gross to look down and see a gray or red or orange glob of stuff. Human soup in your little bandage there. And it's not pleasing having that excess liquid pulled away from your body. I'm digging these.
Or having it, just so stuck to your skin that it's
impossible
that
to get
it's
off.
the worst Band-Aid you've ever pulled off. And like that happened to me last time that, I talked about it last podcast and probably like the last two, but when I was pulling it off on Adam's piece, if it was any less healed than it was, like, I just felt like it would have been ripping the fuck out of my tattoo.
There's a sweet spot between healed.
I mean, because I was very careful with it, did in the shower, like soap and everything. But even with that, it was so stuck to it.
Yeah,
and I don't know, that turned me off. I don't think I'll put it on any more of my tattoos personally, but I still use it on smaller tattoos. I like it, but I'm just more weary about it and just tell them to take it off after a couple of days while it's still like nice and seepy.
Yeah, I think taking it off wet's definitely key. If you let it dry up too much, it gets to the point where you're literally removing tattoo because the tattoo's starting to dry to the back of the bandage, and then you're reopening everything that you just worked so hard to heal.
Okay, guys, I got to jump in and be the voice of opposition. There is still always a time and place for the ADWs. For instance, I have a client who works on a chicken farm. So yeah. So no matter
well, yeah,
what,
I didn't want to get too ahead of ourselves. And I'm not totally dogging on it because that's what I was saying. I still use it. I like it for certain things. I'm just giving a good example
of like when it is necessary and when I do use it.
Yeah.
But for him, it's one of those, like, you want to weigh the pros and the cons of using
Absolutely.
it.
And especially in the area that you're putting it in.
And he, like, just the bacteria that he could get exposed to on his clothes. So for him, if he's going to work the next day, we wrap it. If like say I work on him on a Friday and he's got Saturday,
Three
and
out of
Sunday
four
off,
instances, it's
better.
honestly 3 out of 4 instances, it's a wonderful thing,
Well, and
and
just
it's
like-
really great. But for me, it's just that 1/4 sometimes on myself. Like it's me. I don't like it on myself because I know the way I heal and what I do. Like I did it because it was in a weird area, and I just really didn't want to have to
Well,
worry about it rubbing.
The beauty of aftercare products is that there is one suited to everyone's healing style, preference, the way that they like to do it.
And
So
different
there
parts of
is
the body heal differently as well.
there is no wrong or right way to cover these things. It's a person by person. My skin heals completely different than anybody else's in this room.
I just feel ultimately trust your artist.
Yes.
However they tell you to bandage it, follow their instructions. But there are pros and cons. Like if you're an artist, you know, and you're listening,
My intention was definitely not to bash the others. It was just my last experience
We talk
happened
about
to
the
be
pros and
Absolutely.
cons a lot. We talk about the pros
I just want to be
and cons
honest
of it
with
a
the way
lot.
that I feel about it, but
Yeah.
like that's why I also want to be clear as well that I do like it in a lot of instances. I think
Let me
it's
see your
actually
arm, Jordan.
really great.
Just give me that arm. Let me see this lower arm. So you're telling me we can wrap up this entire lower arm in one, and then the entire upper arm in another.
What gets me is the
And it will be nice and
non-invasiveness.
Well, it's got flex to it too. So when
it's
you
like
tape it or
stretchy as
saran
well.
wrap it or however, it's
I'm
got
really
some
impressed
motion
with this
underneath
stuff.
it.
Easy to take off.
I
mean, we're not
one-
sponsored by these guys or anything. It's just a product we're trying out and we're really liking.
Yeah, we were just sent some sample
haven't
stuff
tried it yet.
from Ed, our guest a few weeks ago. I honestly am very impressed, and I'm going to continue using it.
I took one this morning, and instead of taping it to me, I just put on a longer pair of like compression shorts and just laid it over, and it's held perfectly in place all day. Like it's not
Comfortable enough that
it's
you'll just be fine wearing it.
100% comfortable.
Cool.
This is the happiest bandage I've ever had under a pair of pants as far as being able to get things done the next
That's
day.
saying a lot,
Yeah,
Ben. You've been tattooed many, many times.
Yeah, I've had a few.
Tattoos.
I've had a few.
Awesome. I'm excited that this is as good of a product as we hoped it would be.
Yeah, it's I'm pumped on it, to say the least.
Pumped on it.
Especially for larger areas. You really don't ever want to like trying to do a adhesive bandage on someone's entire body part gets to be so stretchy and pooly on the skin that it's uncomfortable no matter what. So especially doing large areas, I see a huge benefit in these.
Yeah. And having just easy to have multiple around and easy to take off. So like with Sanoderm, with the ADWs, it's just a little bit, it's difficult to take them. It's more of a task to take them off and put them back on.
Yeah,
so you tend to want to leave it on longer, you know?
Yeah. Concur.
This is so easy to change.
And I mean, I'm a big fan of fresh bandages.
And it's soft. It's soft. And it's like, I'd wrap one. I'd wrap my arm in one without even getting tattooed.
I've used the
because it's so
absorbent
soft.
pads before
Just
that are
because
like
it's soft.
plastic and plastic. Like it would be like plastic and then an absorbent pad and then plastic on the back. I call them chicken pads because that's basically what they are. I thought that this was going to be like that, only bigger, but this is way nicer than that.
The chicken pads are perforated plastic on the outside, so if they move and wiggle and they're not perfectly in place, they turn into a cheese grater, man.
Yeah, it's still
So,
plastic.
like,
it's still
it's
wrinkly
not
plastic
comfortable.
on
This
your
is
skin.
soft cloth.
So fun. Now we're talking about these pads a lot. I know we've had one other episode where we've talked about aftercare, and that was with you, Ben, in the beginning, and then that episode actually disappeared, and I don't think we ever went back to talking about aftercare in general.
Lost episode.
So like before this, what were you doing for your aftercare for your clients?
Most of my work is so large
What do
that I
you
usually
advise?
just wrap the full limb with saran wrap, almost like a compression and a barrier, and then I tape the edges real good. One thing, I try to have my clients chill with me until they stop weeping. So like whether it's a small tattoo or a large tattoo, I like to let them chill until it's like to a point where like it's not going to get slimy so quick. Yeah, usually I take like whatever glide or balm that I'm using. I usually choose a more organic brand, but I'll clean the tattoo, slather it with my glide, and then I wrap it with saran wrap. So it we're playing with the cameras now.
Technical.
So we're seeing if we can technical team it ourselves.
That's usually what I do too. It's just saran wrap or, Saniderm for smaller pieces, which it's just so rare, but it's, I don't know, nice and easy. But for the most part, I'd say 3 out of 4 times I'm just using saran wrap and, tell them to take it off when they get home. And do your first wash then.
I mean, that was
You prefer for them to uncover as soon as they go home, or do you prefer for them to sleep with it wrapped?
If
Because we
they're-
usually finish pretty late at night.
I mean, if it's late at night, you can go home. I mean, you can if you want. If you're traveling, then yeah. But I don't know. It's just kind of up to you.
I mean, Street Shop Band-Aid for years
I
was
think if you
2
are comfortable
paper
if you're
towels
at
and
home,
3 wraps of
if you're
saran
at home
wrap.
and you can go, if you can get home and just like, I don't know, maybe go take a shower or something. For me, like I get my whole back done when I go. So like
Right.
I don't just do a little wash. I just get in the shower. So I'm going right to the hotel room, but I'll keep it on sometimes.
If it's not a super late night
don't know.
session,
I don't think it really matters either way, but I do like, there you go though. I do like that plasma buildup that happens overnight, like that when you have it on, like when I'm traveling and I'm at a hotel room and I do keep it on all night, because then in the morning I feel like that plasma really let the tattoo heal underneath a lot. So when you do wipe it off, it tends to be a lot less seepy for the next couple days.
I think it has a lot to do with what time I get tattooed. If I get tattooed earlier in the day, I have the time to go home, let it seep like we're talking about, and then take a shower, let it clean, and then let it air dry, and then I'll cover it with something loose and light before I go to bed, because I would rather it dry out. But if you're coming home late, like I went home midnight last night, I got in the door,
Yeah.
I didn't have time to let it sit and finish and breathe and then take a half-hour time of
Right,
opening up all your
exactly.
pores with warm water,
And that's how I feel
closing them
when
with
you're
cold.
when you're traveling for a tattoo.
Right. Especially if you're traveling and you're in a hotel room that's all funky and nasty, and you don't know the expert cleanliness of the sheets that you're about to sleep on. I'm wrap that thing as tight as it'll go. Let it set, because I know that Band-Aid's cleaner than those hotel sheets, especially when you're traveling.
Right.
What kind of hotel you staying at, Ben?
Cheap ones. I'm poor.
Oh, I usually splurge. Well, I don't know. Most of the
You
time
guys
I
travel a
splurge
lot
when
more than I do.
when I am getting tattooed. I want to be comfortable. I want to take that nice long shower. I want to be comfortable and babied when
I want a place where they leave the light on and I can see my car. You know what I mean? Like, they're not all bougie and get mad when the room stinks like dope when you leave. They don't call you like, excuse me, there's going to be another $350 charge to your room for how bad it smells because you didn't open the fucking window.
Ben,
You're right.
you should have a van.
Don't tempt me. I am banned from buying toys right now. I'm not allowed to buy anything else. My budget is on freeze for things with gasoline.
So this
You
is
just
not
bought that
tattoo
motorcycle.
related, but Ben is really
Two of them.
excited about this, and I am excited for him. Do you want to talk about your recent?
I happened to be able to purchase a couple custom motorcycles at a very favorable rate.
A very fair price, if you will.
They need a little bit of wrench time and they'll be good to go. But I am very excited about that. Sorry, did not mean to skew.
No,
But that also means I cannot purchase a van right now because my wife would remove my wallet from my butt after she shoved it up there. And
at least she'd only remove your wallet.
And then she-
I wasn't sure where you were going with that, man.
I wasn't either. It all kind of fell into place there at the last second. I like toys with gasoline. Sorry. It's a good time.
So I'm excited.
What
about
kind of
your
motorcycle is it?
motorcycles.
I got a 99 police bike, a Harley Davidson. It's all custom built for drag. And then a custom bobber. What's a SNS 103 cubic inch motor with a sidewinder,
thing.
clutch, and transmission.
No big thing.
No big deal. No big deal.
No big thing at all.
It's just, no, they're freaking sweet. I'm excited for the snow to not be on the ground and knees in the breeze.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait to get my bike back out.
Cool tattoos I've collected.
I'm gonna fix my choke on mine.
Hey, I got you, dude. Come on over. Come on over. We'll fiddle with it.
Right.
Yep.
I won't be able to. I can't even. My bike's a little old. I can't start it without being able to pull it. I can't even fucking pull it right now. So I just got to do it back there.
Right.
It'll be quick though. It's like
I just got
a third one
extras.
I've changed.
Just come ride one of mine at
Oh,
this point.
Yeah, right. Hey,
I had one when we bought these two.
that's
So-
what's definitely go riding, man.
I need to thin the herd. If anybody would like to buy a 2007, no, I'm just kidding.
What is it, Ben?
No, I'm not plugging my bike.
It's a
in your shop.
2007. What?
It's a
pinstriped. It's really
2009
pretty.
Fat
It's
Bob.
red and pinstriped.
It's a
and
93
really
cubic
nice.
inch Harley Davidson. feel free to hit me on all my socials. Just asking for blue.
Check out my bike.
No, I really don't.
You could hit me or Jordan up. We'll connect you with Ben.
Jordan.
Jordan. No problem.
So tattoos. Sorry, now that we've dove down into not
Motorcycles, it's all right. The motorcycles and tattoos, they just go hand in hand.
kind of.
They're close
They are kind of close.
somehow.
Somehow it's because in 1980 to 1997 the only people that got tattoos were bikers.
Yep.
I don't want to say only. I don't want to classify or make blanket
But you're
statements.
both
That's
a
where the real
biker and a hiker.
popularization came.
Yeah,
That's where they really started to boom.
So there's this really cool thing where those two worlds cross. It's called it's like moto camping, and these guys ride their bikes into these remote locations and then hike in. And I'm like, that's gonna start happening. It's like a mix of two things I enjoy. So
Yeah, that's
yay,
awesome.
plans.
That's awesome.
Jordan, we don't have a camera for you for a little bit.
It's all right.
It's okay.
I'm just
I'll be
gonna let it
background
charge
voice.
up. You can be background voice.
We'll-
Ben and I will carry
We'll
it.
rearrange mine because unfortunately I'm gonna have to dip out here just a little bit, and I'll just I'll focus mine on Jordan before I go.
Yeah. Today's
It all works out
episodes,
naturally, not stressing.
we've had a lot of technology demons today.
Yeah.
Today is
They're
actually
they're flying around here a little
okay.
bit. Thanks for hanging in there, guys.
today is actually our 25th episode already, Jordan.
25.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
It's
over
the 25th.
over
Wait.
75 hours.
Do you count the 6 lost episodes as part of the 25?
There are not 6 lost episodes. There was only one,
It's
but
like
that would be
2 or 3. We've also done like 5 or 6 that we haven't put out.
yeah.
too.
We've just got like
They're just in,
homies hanging
in
out
some
talking
memory,
with us.
right? Before we went live, we just pre-record them and then we would end up uploading them onto YouTube and stuff.
We've grown a lot. We're super close to being ready for like real, like
Yeah.
realness.
To be
Like, where you
honest,
can just, like,
everything
pull
up to now has just
Spotify
been
and there's-
experimentation, innovation. We get new equipment. We've just been trying to just figure out the perfect setup. And as we do it, there's always new things to get used to and new things to go wrong.
We
This is
figured
a
out-
different problem.
We figured out some whole
But
new
it's
camera
always
angles last
2 steps
week.
forward, sometimes a step back a little bit, hardly, but we're always moving forward with it. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what's awesome. So there's going to be this time where it all just
Yep.
clicks perfectly.
I feel like we're really close to being like the perfect background noise to every tattoo session. Like when your client is sitting there in agony, like just throw this on, and whoever we're talking to, like we're gonna let you know you're not alone, man.
Who doesn't
Like,
love a good distraction?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
how
no
many hours
kidding.
did I work on you?
I mean, that's all.
At
That's
least
what I do. I
5.
love throwing
We
5 or
watched-
6
on.
probably.
We watched 10 episodes of whatever show we were watching.
Okay, and they're probably like
They
45
were
minutes.
45-minute episodes.
Okay, so that's a lot of time, and you're
And-
fine today.
We definitely paused because that's my show. In between our breaks and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I just like talking about like no matter how bad a tattoo feels in the moment, it's so temporary. The next day, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be stronger because of it. You're gonna be closer to whatever your goal is because of it.
That has a lot to do with your artist. There's tattoos I've gone the next day and been like, I'm not doing anything because somebody pushed it a little bit too far, didn't realize,
I would prefer to do nothing the next day.
I've sat for 7 and 8 hour sessions where someone's trying to cover ground and just beat it in. And I've had whole limbs outlined in a couple hours, and you get done with that and you are exhausted.
Mhm.
You've had a
Yeah.
coil
Yeah, man.
machine running full line speed, just blasting 7 rounds into your leg. You get done and I don't care if you were numb when it started or not, your soul is touched. The next day you're not doing anything. So it has a lot to do with the way the ink is applied, because there's a lot of trust there.
Right.
So to toot Fawn's horn, it really has a lot to do with the way it's done. It's
I
not
try to be
always that
so-
gentle.
Sorry, Keith, if you want to go first. Absolutely. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us today.
I don't
My
know,
name is
that's
Socrates
noise.
Rosenthal, co-founder and CEO at Jane. We have the largest e-commerce provider in the U.S. cannabis market, now powering about 18
Yeah, some
different
extra-
Okay, we got some
sound.
extra noise in there.
To oversimplify what we do, we partner with
So back to those electronic demons. So
That isn't us, right? That's one of us. Okay. What a show, Ben. Thanks for being
Yes.
patient and awesome.
I mean,
Thanks for being patient and awesome.
Thanks
a
for
gift that a 3-year-old gives you.
We got a camera not cooperating, and we got like ghost voices.
It's all right. We canceled the voice out, but now we just can't hear Gabe or them if they say anything for a minute.
Maybe introducing yourself to your person.
Let them figure that out. I see it on your iPad. So what's being shown?
2021.
Okay. You know, at least we have this. At least we're close enough. We can get together and we can be face to
I
face.
just think it's hilarious as fast as technology advances. It's almost a struggle just to keep up, and it's like, I keep my iPhone 7. I know where all the buttons are.
You know what? I just took the leap and upgraded from an iPhone 7 to a 12 Pro.
And they're like, oh, they're all the same. They're not.
Well, my 7 was the Mac Daddy of the 7s when they came out, so I definitely stretch that phone out as long as I can. It's on its 4th screen. In fact, I learned how to change the screens myself. The last 2 I put in on my own. It didn't take me long to break them though.
I have a buddy that does that on the side and like makes a significant amount of money doing it. Because you can buy the kits online for like $10. And it's not but a few screws and a couple clips to get them changed out.
Yeah, I thought it would be more complicated than that, but my older brother, he's like a computer tech nerd. Like he can build a computer from the bottom up. Everything, like knows everything about technology there is to know. But anyways, I had famously cracked screen, and he was like, "Why don't you fix it?" And I was like, I can't. I've never done anything like that. And he was like, "Oh no, it's really easy. Like just order it. If I can do it, you can do it." Like he started telling me how to do it, and he was like, "You'll just figure it out. You'll just know what to do." And he's like, "The videos are like 3 minutes long. If you have any questions," he's like, "But you probably won't even need a video. You'll probably just like look at it for a minute." And it really was that easy. It was absolutely that easy.
And to think they've been charging you
Okay.
$100.
Hey, Lauren, how goes it?
Yeah, between 100 and 200 bucks every time.
Got it.
So
Cheers.
today's been a really weird episode, and it's short because Ben has a meeting here in a little bit, so he's going to dip
Right.
out on us.
So we had some
You guys have to
difficulties mixed with having to leave a little early.
And
That's
then
all right.
I still have about 40 minutes before I have to do anything, but I think Ben's getting to the point where he's
Yeah,
going to have to check out soon.
I'm gonna have to go. But I will reposition my camera so your pretty face can be seen to the world.
I can get it.
But thank you for having me on today. Again, sorry I can't hang out longer, but it's always a blast to hang out and chat tattoos and whatnot.
Dude, we're
Thanks for coming, Ben.
always so
Anytime.
stoked to have you on
Anytime.
here. We'll have
Yeah.
to do
We'll
we'll
do it
have to do
again soon.
another one too, where we can get some.
If you're
we'll get some
available
time
on
to just sit and
Thursdays,
chill
just
and
to
talk.
come and be an extra tech person too, and like help us keep up with rolling and those things.
Possibly.
Possibly on the days it's convenient.
Yeah, we're sliding out of winter. I'm a seasonal roofer, so it's like I'm getting into be where my days are probably going to be pretty cramp packed here soon.
Okay.
But any available Thursday
On
my
the
pretty face
days,
will show up.
on the days that it's easy.
I
I'd
appreciate
love
you
to have
guys.
you back.
Yes.
You're fun.
Yep. Enjoy
You're
your
fun to
day.
talk
I will
to all
talk
the
you
time.
soon.
All right, Ben.
Bye.
Don't work too hard.
Thanks, man.
Talk to you soon. Jordan. And then there were 2.
Hey, and we're back. We're going to take a short break while I go and pee and Ben packs his stuff up, while Fawn gives you some elevator music.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh man, I don't even have anything like rehearsed that we can talk about. Jeez, I'm ill-equipped. Ben's still here. He can talk to us while he's packing his backpack. So, also, in addition to, if you're looking for a really rad, already pinstriped Harley, Ben also sells roofs.
If you need a roof, we can seriously talk.
Yep.
Insurance restoration specialist for TSR roofing. Shameless plug.
That was actually a really good Mr. Movie Phone voice.
I don't want to admit it, but I used to do voiceovers.
Nice.
You want a little 7-minute
Nice.
spot? I got you.
Yeah. Yep. Ben.
The key to that is clearly knowing exactly what you're going to say. The problem with podcast voices,
Speak from your diaphragm.
yeah, it's all mumbly bumbly because you're making it up as you go along. But give me a script.
Give you a script. Okay. We're gonna
I
need
think
to
we
start
should
making
make some tattoo
sponsorship
collecting
videos.
podcast commercials.
It's on my list to make some fake commercials. Me, you, Ben's wife is also a photographer. We're gonna get together. We're gonna make some rad videos. Our intros are gonna be so fun.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
It's gonna be fun.
Enjoy the sunshine. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Good luck at your meeting.
Thank you.
Sell lots of roofs.
Bye, bud. Bye, brother.
Oh, Jordan's coming back just in the nick of time. This has worked out well.
Just in the nick of time.
In the nick of time. Jordan, have you heard that Pete Davidson is
All right.
going through removing his tattoos?
Pete Davidson.
Do you
Is
know
that
who
the
Pete Davidson
Saturday
is?
Night
Yeah,
Saturday
yeah,
Night
yeah,
Live
yeah.
guy? He's
Absolutely. He's got crazy
what's his
tattoos everywhere.
look like?
He's I was reading an interview and he said the reason that he's getting his tattoos removed is one, because it takes so long in the makeup chair to cover them, where like if he just gets rid of them, that will save like 3 hours a day every time he's on set. And the other reason, he said he saw a picture of himself shirtless and felt like he looked like a toddler who got a hold of a marker. All right, Pete. Sounds like a good excuse to start all over.
Oh, that's funny.
Start
So he's just
all
removing
over.
every single one of them?
Yeah, I guess he's lasering off all of his tattoo collection. From what I've read, I haven't spoken to him personally, but
You don't know him?
not personally. Maybe one day.
Hmm.
I got a feeling he probably smokes weed, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think he does a little bit more than weed.
Stoner Network. Pete, if you want to talk about your tatties or disappearing tatties, give us a call.
I know there's a lot of controversy in him and in his drug use. I think it goes beyond weed. We don't need to get into that, though.
No. I
'Cause he's
just wanted
funny.
to talk about like it's something that's just kind of been on my like, as much as we talk about tattoos, we could talk about the removal of tattoos and like when people are going through things or changing collections or, doing things.
Yeah.
People pay attention to what celebrities do.
I feel that.
A lot of people that aren't really like super secure in themselves might follow trends, I guess.
I just have no idea what any celebrities are doing. They all get such shitty tattoos, and I don't understand why. I just feel like you have that much money, you could seek out some really good
Well,
art.
like
but
for
then
instance, every time Rihanna gets a new tattoo trend, everybody's got to go get that tattoo. I shouldn't say everybody, but it becomes a new like fad. Like every
I
time
feel that.
Rihanna gets a new tattoo, everybody wants to
I
get
just-
whatever she has.
I don't know. Fads are cool. I mean,
I try not
I
to
don't
do
know.
the
I don't
fad
like.
tattoos.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not. That's not the kind of work that I really do. I mean, geometric, you could say, is kind of like a trend. Like, styles in general can be like trends, more popular than another. But I don't really know what kind of work she has.
Rihanna?
Yeah,
You've never done any Rihanna inspired tattoos?
no, I've never.
Oh man. Like the sh on the finger, I think that's a Rihanna one.
What's a sh on the finger?
Like the SH with like 4 dots. Sh.
Oh no,
Sh.
no.
Let's see, what are some other ones? She's got like
I mean, I've done
this
stuff like that on
Egyptian
fingers. I
figure,
didn't know
like in the
that was hers.
underbreast area. I just feel like every time Rihanna gets something new, everybody wants that for a while.
Fair.
How many people have hit you up and they've shown you
I've
like
definitely,
the
like-
Rock's tattoo?
No,
and
yeah,
that's what they
that
want?
was my next thing. Like, because I do a lot of black work, I get a lot of people coming to me with like Polynesian and stuff, and then eventually they get out and like I'll hear it, like we'll be into the tattoo and I'll know that I know what like they were seeing and like the references, and it won't have the Rock's face, it'll like have his tattoos and stuff like that, and then they'll eventually be like, yeah, like looking like the Rock or something like that. I'll be like, but yeah. Yeah, I've done quite a few Polynesian tattoos where people brought up the references of his tattoos. I don't know many other famous people with Polynesian stuff that was ever referenced. I think that was the main one.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel
Or
like it just
tribal.
started a funny trend. Like the bigger his
dig it.
tattoos
I like
get, the more of
Polynesian.
a trend.
I think
I
Polynesian's
love
awesome.
Polynesian work.
I enjoy doing it a lot.
Kiyoki, I believe he's still at Ink and Dagger, but he's opening his own studio. I love watching him do his work. Like he does the most beautiful Polynesian work, but he pulls in like 3-dimensional elements and layers.
Yeah.
Like
I've seen a lot of Kyogi's work. I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
He's like just a ray of happiness. Like I just love him and his wife both. They're just great people. I love them. I just
haven't
love
paid
being
attention
around
to
him.
who he is as a person yet.
But he's just so patient, and he's one of those people that like you can tell he's in his groove because it like just falls out of him, and every tattoo is somehow better than the one before it, or it incorporates more ideas, but it's still, traditional Polynesian. But like he as a person is just very in touch with himself and with his roots, and I think it just comes out in that artwork.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. It's super traditional while also he's just got so many his own variations. There's a lot of Polynesian traditional artists that they stick with a lot of the same patterns and then just
Mhm.
go really wild with that. But I just love like most of his patterning is
He's
it's
so
such it's a
intricate.
variation from traditional. It'll be the traditional things with just more detail.
Yep,
I don't
like-
know, really awesome flows.
He'll bring
You can
color
tell it's so
into
creative, but I just keep going back to the traditional thing. Like it definitely reminds me of it.
Yeah, he does a really good job like incorporating color and like 3D things in his Polynesian work. Oh, I'm just such a fan.
Yeah.
I know he and Guy, it's been more than several months, maybe it was a year or so ago, but I know he and Guy were looking for somebody to do a collaborative piece on, and like, I don't have a lot of real estate, but man, that would be an amazing, amazing thing to see and wear. I
Yeah.
might just like message them both and be like, man, let's maybe go ahead and I keep thinking about it.
Have you ever seen Max Beer's work?
Yes. Yeah. You know, I didn't even
Or
realize.
Evan Beers.
I
Max is his brother, but Max has got really good work too. I like Max's work, but I really love Evan's work.
I didn't even realize
just
they were
love it.
from Michigan until maybe
Yeah.
like 2 years ago.
Kalamazoo.
Yeah, I had no idea. I thought, I
But
mean, I
Max,
always
Max
saw
is
him at
out.
like,
He goes back and forth from Hawaii.
okay, I always saw him at like the Motor City show, and I think I've seen him at Hell City. But I didn't realize they were that local. I thought they were traveling in from much further away. It's really cool. I've had a few Michigan clients hit me up for Polynesian work, and it's really cool to be like, oh no, they're just over in KZoo. Go hit them up.
Nice. Yeah.
It's really nice to like, they're going to do a great job. I promise. Go check them out.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've never met them, but they're always close. And Steven knew them really well.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, Steven Wheeler at Sacred Expressions. Super awesome place if you're in Grand Rapids. Misha Esterkin works there. Super badass artist. Nick Mann and Steven Wheeler.
Oh, Misha's been putting out some amazing work.
It's a high-end glass studio too. They're, I mean, absolutely amazing. I mean, check them out. Tattoos are great, and the glass is even better.
How long were you there before you came to Red Tree?
I was there almost 6 years. Me and Steven, I didn't have any ownership or anything or partnership with him, but for the most part, like he wanted to open the place up, and he got me and this other guy, Joshua Trudgeon, who owns Torched in Holland. It's have you heard of that?
Mm-mm.
It's a really big head shop and grow shop.
I don't think it was around when I lived
But
up there yet.
they got a bunch of glass blowers. It's heavy like glass blower little temple basically. But so he helped Steven open Sacred, but I was going to be the tattoo artist there. And Steven started tattooing, and we basically took over the tattooing, and it was just a nice private studio for me to be able to work out of. And it was just such
spread your wings and
such,
do your own thing.
Oh my God, such a relief from the shops that I worked at before that, where it was just, I don't know. It was what I knew, and it was what I liked, because that's what tattooing was to me. It was just like street tattoos and doing lots of little things, and people just constantly coming in for feathers and small words and things. And that's all. Those are cool tattoos if those are what you like. But I was just getting to a point where I really wanted to incorporate my actual art, and I wanted to do the things that I really wanted to do. And I was starting to do that. But as soon as we opened Sacred, it was like I could just start over new and just like reinvent myself right from the beginning. And I don't know. We had a good name because we had such a solid presence. So right off the bat, we were just putting out a good name.
Is that when you started like specializing and starting to like do specific styles of work instead of just anything and everything?
Because we just started marketing myself for the geometry, and like that was what I was into. So, but like that was like almost like the gimmick. Like they wanted me to be like, all right, you do the geometric work, just let's do solid like sacred geometry tattoos, because Steven and I, we were already like really into sacred geometry and stuff, and we were always just hardcore talking about that and just delving into that. We were kind of relating to each other on that end. And then it was like, okay, well, we want this shop to be that. Like we covered the windows and sacred, like all flower of life patterns. You're just going geometry crazy.
As you were like transitioning from like working in more of like the street shop setting where you were taking anything and everything, how did you go about like talking with your clients? Like when somebody would come back to you, how would you go about like talking to them about like how you were starting to change your ideas and how you were starting to like specialize in this. Is there a point in time where you had to start to like
change the way that I was going about it, like a consultation
yeah
with
to like
people to like
yeah.
shift people's minds over.
Mhm.
I think, I mean, yeah, I would, that really,
Because like
I had to
feel like
push it, because
sometimes
you get the client. Sorry.
one of the problems I have sometimes, like now that I'm specializing in just color work at this point in time, I feel like some of the people that I've done black and gray work on in the years past are like, oh, you don't like my tattoo, you don't like doing that stuff. Like, so how do you go about like working with people as you specialize in certain specific directions? Because like I know your bio kind of goes in one direction, and I know your geometric work kind of goes in its own direction as well. So how do you talk to people? Like say somebody came to you years ago and they got this really cool flower that they liked with something that isn't like really what you're doing. How do you go about like, I guess just dealing with clients as you're shifting into more specific things? Because I feel like I struggle with
There's
that.
definitely a couple ways that I go about that for sure. I mean, one is really simple, which is just draw for the job, draw for the tattoo you want to do. If you want to do bio, start drawing good bio and put it out there. People will start wanting it. And then there's the other side of, taking their idea and maybe putting some sort of spin to it. Say if someone came to me for a flower, then I might, design a flower to be a little bit more bio, or try to maybe get some aspect of it in there. But maybe I don't. Maybe I just, do a different style for something that's not going to be down the road of things. Maybe I don't want bio in a nice feminine flower piece, but also, you know what I mean? I can get bio aspects of it, just making it look really organic, doing something like that. And then there's, talking to them and just trying to, discuss and make it sound really cool, what you're trying to do, and say you want to do something new. And maybe you can start being like, well, I'm really trying to do this thing. And maybe if you have things drawn, you can kind of point reference towards it. So all in all, I can just extract it down to draw for the job. And if I'm drawing things people want, and it's of that style, people tend to want it more. So I've pushed my style to be that. The more I put out cool geometric tattoos, the more I was getting more people. So every time I put something out, people start wanting to come to me for that thing. So it's always been a matter of like what I would start drawing more and putting out there more. So
you don't have a problem with people coming to you with stuff that you did years ago and wanting more of that?
Oh, I mean, no, I definitely, I don't have a problem with that. It just depends on, for me now, it's been so long. I've just been doing the kind of the same styles a little bit, that I guess a lot of the pieces I just don't mind going back and adding more to old styles. But I think most of those people come to me for what I do now. Like they always tend to want to change their idea, and they see what I'm doing now, and they're not going to come to me for like, something that was lesser or anything than it is now. They're going to want like, oh yeah, I see your geometry now. Like, fuck yeah, let's do some of that. Or like that, I've seen how your bio is. Like, I want some of that. So I just,
every now and then what I run into, and the really nice thing about Emily handling my scheduling and like going through my emails, she deals with a lot of this stuff for me. But there are some times where like somebody that I worked on way in the very early, like beginning part of my career hits me up like out of the blue, and they're like, hey, I'd like to collect another piece from you. And like, it's always a challenge for me when it's like, well, I don't even really like do flash anymore. So like, I can't really give you a price for what I would charge for that. Like, it's like the conversation's different because like I'm in a different place in my career, and they
I just
still
wouldn't take on
expecting
a
like the
project.
same.
Personally, I'm probably not. I might not take on a project like that, but I can't speak for all artists. Everyone can take on whatever they feel like taking on. Now I'm just kind of dwindling down to only the big pieces. And if someone came to me for like, the flash piece of something that I'm really not like, like traditional tiger and roses or something. Like,
do you take the time to direct them to somebody else, or do you
absolutely
just like?
I'll give them the names and stuff, and like if I like direct someone to Ben, I'll message Ben.
Okay.
Stuff.
Okay.
Or like whoever it might be. But it's been kind of rare that people have come to me lately and haven't asked for something that I want to do.
Well, we've got such a good marketing team at Red Tree. It's pretty easy to like have
and
help to specialize our marketing.
I make everyone go through my website and my jot form, which I actually learned from you. The jot form just works out great.
I stole that trick
they
from
have
somebody else.
For them to even get to the point of making the appointment, like they already know that what I'm trying to do and what I'm not trying to do. And some people, squeeze through.
I sometimes just have the hard, it's just always an awkward thing when it's like somebody that like I may have worked on them years ago, but like things are different now. Like it's really hard for me to have that conversation and to like find the right words without, I just don't want to come off the wrong way. And I don't want somebody to think their idea isn't good enough just because it's not in my current wheelhouse. I feel like that's just something I don't know. I want to work on everybody that wants me to work on them.
I never want anyone to
time.
think that like it's any lesser of a piece because I don't want to do it. Like I try to make that very clear that it's, I don't think it's a stupid idea or anything, no matter what they're coming to me. I think everyone's idea is awesome. For them, it's just some things in my artistic ability, my comfortability with something, like I might be able to figure out a way to draw most anything someone can come to me for. But if I know I'm not going to like be super into it, I know there's someone else that's going to be really into it and they probably work right next to me.
Yeah, I'm always just afraid I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings, I guess. That's what I'm getting at is how do you
but
avoid
if they're
hurting
really
somebody's
but if they're
feelings
really, I mean, there's that, if someone, there's those people that really want to come to me for my work, they want, a piece because they like my art, but then they want something, usually when it's the case, they come to me for something that I do. But then there's the time people really want my art, but then they'll come to me with an idea for something that I just don't do. And it's like, why? I mean, have you thought about why you want to come to me for this? Like you like my other stuff, but you're coming to me for this totally different idea. Like,
I feel like that's a good
portrait.
question.
I don't really do portraits. Like, although like I would love to do a portrait. Like that's a bad example for me because I'd actually love to do a portrait right now. But if you're asking a traditional artist to do a portrait, maybe you love the traditional work, but hey, can you do this realistic portrait? Like the traditional artist, maybe they can do it, but at the same time, you can always ask. But at the same time,
like, do you just want me to work on you?
There's someone who is a
portrait.
There's a portrait artist out there who would love to do that piece. That'll just be just as amazing.
Yeah,
more amazing.
It's just funny. I just feel like every time I go through like a level of growth in my career, that's one of the awkward things about it is there's that awkward wall where like, okay, things are different now. Like, I mean, I know I worked on you 6 years ago for like $300 a session, but like, it's a different ball game now. Like my time is much more valuable to so many more people. And it's really awkward when I'm not like a super money driven person as well. So it's like, how do I do this? Like just simple supply and demand. I'm one single person, but there are this many more people that want me to work on them. So like, do I just charge more or do I specialize my ideas more? So like every time I go through like a period of growth as an artist and through a period of growth as a tattooer, and business, like it's like that next level. There's always that like awkward wall of like, now that things are changing, how do I talk to people about this? And I feel like I struggle with that.
Yeah. It's relatable. It's relatable. I feel that way too when I want to do something and most of my clients are coming in for, one thing. I don't back myself up as much as I used to when I used to book myself up for like 6 months plus and it would all be projects, it would be all sorts of things, but that was a big time when I really wanted to start doing bio and I was doing tons of geometric stuff and I had a huge line of geometric work and I love geo, but really, really wanted to do some badass bio pieces and stuff. So it just took me having to draw it and just put out there, talk to my clients and stuff instead of pushing towards, geometric and most conversations, whatever we're talking about, we're pushing geometric. I just started being like, you don't have any work, you're not super dead set on blackwork geo, I'll usually sense it, I'll see like their indecision. They just they want me to do my thing or something like that. And like my thing could have been geo, but like, no, I'm going to make my thing bio this time. Start doing that more and more, people start seeing it. And then everything at Sacred Expressions for like the last 2 years was like a lot of bio pieces and I was pushing that out really hard. So that was where I made a big switch from geo to bio. And then I moved out here and just kind of switched totally into the geo. Not as many people, come to me for the bio here, just like big thing. So most of the clients are into that. I'm into it too, but I definitely, it keeps the bio super fresh too when I get those pieces.
To be fair, in Columbus, I think the bio scene is just so much bigger here. There are more artists that are doing bio there are not as many artists doing large scale geometric pieces.
Right. So I kind of fit my niche when I came here. But I love it.
I know I'm wrong about what I'm going to say, but because I know there have to be at least a few, but I personally don't know another artist who works geometry as big and consistently as you do in the city. Rich Cook, but his stuff is so his own lane and so his own flavor compared to yours. So like,
thank you, Fawn.
I can't think of another artist around here. And like I said, I know I'm wrong. Anybody who's listening that's from Columbus is probably going to think of 3 or 4 artists. I just don't know them personally.
Yeah, I'm new to Columbus, so I still haven't figured everyone out.
But I really think that here, and I think that's why Durb encourages you to push your geometric work so much, is because there's not another person around here doing it. So you're filling a need that nobody else is really nobody else in Columbus is really scratching that itch in the same kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Rich Cook does a crazy abstract geometric work, and there are a few artists that do a lot of like mandalas, but like
I'm actually doing a collab with Rich Cook right now.
Nice. You're like pushing it into your own direction, and you're pulling like technological influence into it, and you're pulling like robotic influence into it. And there's a lot of science where like your bio is more like slime and decaying, but it's still all kind of coming from different imagination pockets within you.
It's like a left and right brain is the way I see it almost.
Yeah, but I don't think
still
there's
got
anybody,
these weird imbalanced mixes.
I don't think there's anybody in our immediate area that scratches the same kind of artistic itch that you do. So with your geometric work, I think you're doing a lot of very individual things with it when there's so many, like, you know, when we've all got Procreate now, we've all got the same brushes. We've all got the same stamps. We've got all these same like cheats and tricks and tools. And we've all got the same tools where we can smooth out our stroke and get much smoother, more flower petal shaped mandalas. Like we all have those tools at our disposal. And I think because of that, a lot of the like mandala work and geometric work that we see starts looking, I don't want to say alike, but very similar. Where like on a previous episode, you and I were talking about like the number of facets that you put to a mandala and why. And, you know, I was like, I usually go for 6 or 9 just because like I'm in tune with those numbers and, you know, those are sacred numbers to me and they repeat. So, and then you were talking about the number of facets that you select and why. And it's really cool just to see like, it's more than, there's more to it than just like,
surface value, just laying it.
Yeah, repeating a line over and over again. And I think when you put like your own flavor to it and you put your own reasoning and logic to why you're making these shapes and what these shapes mean, it's going to give it a whole different flavor. And I think you do enough of it and you do it so big that it just scratches an itch nobody else is scratching in our area right now. So
well, thank you.
But I know that you're always like chomping at the bit to do more bio, but I'm just saying there are a lot of bio artists in the area, but nobody else scratching that itch. So I think that's why as much as you want to do bio, you're encouraged to do so much of the geometric work and so much of that is coming to you just because there's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's all natural. It's also natural. I have had to do nothing to make it this way. I didn't push geometric any more than I would have at any other time. You know, it's just, I do love doing it. And naturally, I've always just had a lot of that clientele because that's what 3/4 of people know me for. You know, bio, I started pushing and I don't put my paintings out there like I put my tattoos out there. So most of the people know me for the things that I've kind of always done. But I love the geometric because I'm still developing it so much more and it keeps pushing these different directions. And I'm so excited to see where it goes. So I just always love pushing it every time I do it. And just it's constantly changing. And the bio, there's like this mix that I know is going to happen eventually where they just mix so harmoniously. But to me, they're like a right and they're two different things. It's hard for me to mix the two in a way that I'm comfortable with and happy with my own output. But I'll combine the two eventually in some way.
I think I've got some really cool ideas for when we get around to completing the Polynesian on your arm. I want to complete that. Bring the black to like as perfect as possible in the whole piece. And then I've got some crazy trippy ideas of color geo work behind it. And I think once I show you some of the ideas I have and some stuff that I've maybe done in the past, I just don't really have like maybe completed pictures to share with you. But like once you see some of the crazy daydreams that are possible, it's like I don't know. Some of the ideas I have that I really haven't shared a lot, it would be like, I don't know. You know how Cassidy Bell's color work is like both perfect and like stamped looking, but like trippy and psychedelic at the same
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Ideas in that wheelhouse.
It's that kind of like layered effect.
Yeah, ideas
filtered.
in that wheelhouse.
See, I see
imagine.
that too.
That's what I imagine coming off of that Polynesian work that you've
I'm
got.
good on that. Thank you.
But I think
That's awesome.
I think once you
I
see
feel
like
that.
how some of the
Can't wait.
brainstorms come together, I think we'll be able to maybe pull in a couple of big projects. Like your arm would be a little version of something big that we could do together.
I love it. Yep. Totally down. I can't wait for you to finish this.
Yep. I want to come into that prism piece at the very top of your shoulder. Let's see. Show the camera. Show that little. Go down. Put your arm down. Put your arm
Lights
down.
white.
I want to see that piece.
What one?
This fractally mandala here. I want to make that thing so stinking colorful. Like make the black as crisp and black and perfect. And there's really just the one spot that's not complete. So on the very back. So it's not even like corrective work. It's like just a little area of completion. And then I want to like make the background behind this just insanely bright. Like leave all that skin break there, add some bright colors, and then bring more crazy trippy patterns in behind it. Make it like the Polynesians melting into this other trippy, crazy pattern.
Love it.
I don't know. It's crazy to think that I'll just draw it on you too.
Wait, what do you mean? You're just gonna freehand it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's how we're gonna do it. Make it
kidding.
fit.
Just joking. That's my favorite.
Make some freehand magic. Make it
Your freehand
flow.
geos really well, really good. I really like to stencil most of my geo.
Thank you. It takes patience, and I
got
have to warn my clients
I got
ahead
a
of time.
freehand geo mix. I try.
Yeah, I got to warn my clients
get
ahead
a
of time
mix of
that it
both.
might literally be 3 or 4 hours just with markers, like pulling these flows and then crisping each layer up as I work like to a darker and darker marker. It'll get more crisp. But I really like for my clients to see like the whole imagination process. Like it does make my day longer and it makes it longer before we actually like get that needle and skin and start. But I really like having my client there for the brainstorm. I really like them like seeing it come to life. And I like them seeing like these rough scribbly sketches that I have and like these photo references and how I take those. And it just like goes from like a real light yellow to like a green to like a darker green to like a developed painterly picture. And they can see like, okay, now I saw how it developed. And
Right.
like, so all like the random lines that I put in there as like reference lines for myself, like if they've got the marker drawing, like a photo of the marker drawing, it all makes sense. If that's not there, some of the stuff is pretty crazy. And it's like, trust me, I promise it's going to work. But like, I think my clients seeing me go through all the phases, like the structure to like the underpainting of the tattoo to like the almost finished to like the fine details, like seeing me do that with a marker, it gives them so like the ability to trust me so much more as I like work through those phases with tattoo ink. Like even though I feel like all my tattoos look like a train wreck in the beginning. We should pull up the pictures of Ben's work from last night because that's a really good example. But like I feel like in the beginning they all look like total train wrecks, like until we're probably 60% through a tattoo. But this marker drawing took us, I don't know, like maybe an hour to achieve. And it eventually is going to like go all the way over onto his other leg as well. Are we sharing?
And we are shared.
Cool. Yeah, so this is just our marker drawing. So it's like pieces of land just kind of floating. There's going to be a campfire. And then that triangle floating, that's the platonic solid shape that represents fire. So we're going to have another one to represent Earth off in the distance in the background. But each of those platonic solids are going to correspond with like their element. So we'll have a really cool dodecagon, which will represent the aether, which will just kind of be floating in space. Like everything will be revolving around that. Some I don't know. I'm pretty excited. It's like all my favorite shapes to paint right now, and we're gonna incorporate them in this crazy trippy tattoo.
Yeah, this is so awesome. I love it. And just knowing Ben is what makes it awesome too, because it's such a large piece and he's such a campy person.
Yeah.
He's always hiking.
And
Always
then
hiking.
do you have a picture of how far we got in yesterday's session? You'll see some of the trees are literally like I just put like a guideline for the middle of the tree, and a few of the like more in focus trees are actually pretty far developed for an underpainting. There's one.
I can just go back and forth here.
Oh, Ben didn't like that his belly was hanging out in these pictures. It's okay. He's really not shy. But see how like on the back, like some of those pictures are just, or some of those trees are just literally like sketched in real light reference lines for me. As we come back in future sessions, those will be just like blended in with the next layers, and we'll be able to develop the tree from there. But on the front, those trees are looking pretty good already.
Yeah. And it's nice to have a little bit of this too after that first session, just to be able to see where they're going to go.
Mm-hmm. And I got some background in, like in between the portrait of his dog and that flower down below on his knee. So all of that's new. So I'm like tying in and completing like all of the connecting work with everything as we go.
It's awesome. I love this piece. Can't wait to see it when it's done.
Oh man, I feel like we covered so much ground. I mean, that may not look like a lot, but that is really a large area that we covered yesterday.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, probably 4, not palm size, but full hand size areas that are pretty well saturated with their first layer.
That would be a sleeve for...
Yeah, just that outer panel would be a sleeve. Person. Yeah. Yep, so we got a super rad start on it, and it'll probably be another month before I work on him again. So to be good and healed, and then we'll just continue developing this scene, and then we've kind of got a rough plan on how it'll fade over onto the other legs, starting the more like outer space psychedelic kind of scene. That guy sleeping in the hammock is going to be so fun. We'll have like the campfire reflecting off of him, and he'll be like I kind of think the idea is that guy's daydreaming this whole reality into existence. That little guy in the hammock. Yep.
I love it. I love this thing. So kind of almost like ghostly.
Yeah. Well, right now it's
I would love to see some shit like that, but that's kind of how that's almost how I feel around a campfire.
Ghostly.
Oh, no,
daydreamy.
Well, like there's this little geometric thing spinning around the top of the fire.
It could be. That may be the same wavelength. That's the aliens talking to us.
Mm-hmm.
Is what it is.
You know what? You don't see that when you go camping.
Triangle spinning around.
Around the fire.
I mean, not in reality. Usually, I'm lost, like staring into the flames. I like the way they kind of almost look like a ribbon growing up out of themselves when the fire's really like, when you're like in the midst of a really good fire, not like a roaring fire, but like, 3 hours into a good campfire where the logs are like hot all the way through, and there's just like that consistent ribbon coming off of everything. I love looking at those shapes.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to capture that feel with a daydream in this whole piece. I'm excited about it. I've really been looking forward to starting this.
That's awesome.
What did you work on yesterday? You worked on a pretty rad piece.
Yeah, I did a big sternum piece. I don't have pictures sent to this right now, but
you were incredibly patient. I know you guys paused for a few times and soaked with Senza. I think it's really important to be an empathetic tattooer. Getting through those brutal spots. Yeah.
It's a rough spot. And she had mastectomy before that. So we did both. We did mandalas over her nipples on both of those. And so there she had so much scar tissue that it was completely numb. It was her first tattoo. And those were so numb for her. She really didn't feel much at all. And so I feel like it kind of tricked her mind into thinking that's kind of what a tattoo felt like.
Psych.
Yep. And then she gets a big sternum piece where she felt it all. So it was definitely harder for her to get through, but she was a champion. She was a champion.
Yeah, I was proud that you guys completed it. Did you complete it yesterday?
Yes.
Cool. Good.
Yes.
Good for her. That's a huge milestone. That's one of my more challenge. I still think that's probably the most challenging place for me. Was that
yeah,
soul chakra.
Yeah.
Soul
yeah,
chakra
the sternum.
area.
I have this guy And this was definitely Nathan Marty who did that. And this was definitely my fucking soul chakra.
I like the way that your soul chakra is inside Cthulhu's mouth. It's perfect.
Yep, right there. Ready to eat you. Yeah, and he totally blacked out my nipple as well.
Nice, Nathan.
Sorry to just bring my nipples out on you.
It happens.
It
happens.
I don't mind. I want you all to see Nathan's beautiful piece, Azathoth, H.P. Lovecraft.
Nice. So,
Actually from the Dream Quest of Kadath. And then there is a story called Azathoth, but the real story of Azathoth hardly explains Azathoth. It's like this overall general like ambiance of it, but it doesn't explain what it is.
So today's episode has been packed full of technical difficulties, but we've made it through. And we're still going to have to cut it a little bit short.
When do you got to go?
Well, I have a 2:00. I forgot it was Thursday and I scheduled an appointment on a day that was a podcast day. But it's a piece that I'm super excited about. Today should be our last session. It's that Salvador Dali piece, Salvador Dali at the top, and this crazy honeycomb weaving through an Alex Schwab painting and some rad flowers.
Nice.
So there's some of my favorite things going on in this piece. So I'm really excited. I think today could be realistically our last session.
Okay.
So I'm really excited.
That's
This
a
has
good
been
day.
one of my favorite pieces. It was actually one of my favorite pieces like 2 years ago, but we were sitting at a tattoo session, she and I, and she asked me if I could incorporate this piece that she had on her lower forearm, and it was like these stone stacks. It had her kid's initials and her husband's initials and her initials on it. And I was like, should there be room for like another initials in the future? And she's like, we haven't ruled it out. Long story short, she had to cancel her next session because she had become needing new initials. She had become with child. So we had like a 1.5 year pause between sessions. So now I'm finally super close to finishing this piece that I've been excited about for like 2 years. So I'm really looking forward to today. I just didn't mean to schedule it right after a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right. We got 5% on this for some reason, and we're also plugged in.
Well, I think one of our power cords is not working the greatest. I think that's been the problem with all of our technology today. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Gabe?
Yeah. Well, first off, let's also talk about what's going on next week. So Fawn, what are we doing next week?
Oh, we're having a special evening edition at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
With who?
Brian Geckel, Adam France.
Ty.
We got Ty McEwen.
Jay Grimmy.
We're
going to have Forrest on again.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have Blade on with us. So it's going to be like an evening bio extravaganza. We're going to have fun. We're probably going to do a lot of smoking. We might be doing some drinking. And we're just going to hang out and talk bio. It'll be a really nice, I know there have been a lot of like bio discussions and panels, but this is going to be cool because it's going to be.
This is going to be a good one. This is going to be real good. Don't miss this one.
We're all heavy hitter collectors. Adam, Ty, and Brian are all like amazing in the field of bio, but they all have amazing, impressive collections. So I think it'll be really cool, like, to talk about bio as a passionate collector.
Mm-hmm.
And we all make bio too, but like from our collecting eyes and our collecting souls. I think that'll be a really cool discussion for all of us.
Yeah, I think the conversation's going to have a lot of chemistry. I think it'll be one you won't want to miss.
Yep, it'll be
probably be our funnest show yet.
Log in the evening and join us. It's going to be great.
Yep, throw us on in the background. Like always, like Gabe said, throw us on in the background. We're great background noise for your clients.
Special event, 8 p.m.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay. All right. Where can we find Jordan?
You can find me at Jordan Ruckus Tattoo or visit my website, www.jordanruckustattoo.com.
You can find me on Instagram at fawn_baker or fawnbaker.com. And you can find us both at tattoocollecting.com. Worst case scenario, that's the one place that will take you to all of our links, and it'll also loop you right back around to the Reinventing app. So Check in next week. It's going to be a rad episode.
Yes. Thank you so much, guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. And on Gabe's end and all them, no sweats on the technical difficulties. We'll get it all worked out.
Hey, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Infinite patience. All gratefulness here.
Yep.
Well, thanks, guys.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Bye.